You're listening to the Neighborhood Bulldog, where the porch light's always on and the maroon runs deep. I'm Scott Nabors, and this is your home for real Mississippi State sports talk. Around here, we don't chase headlines. We break down the wins, the losses, the culture, and what it really means to be a Bulldog. If it matters in Starkville, it matters here. So pull up a chair, grab a drink, and welcome to the neighborhood. Hail State.
Astounding day for Josh. New scores. One of the all-time performances by
Mississippi State men's basketball taking care of business on the home court. Josh Hubbard, legend, put his jersey in the rafters right now tonight. What a game. What a roller coaster. What an emotional wreck everybody has been left with here. The highs, the lows, exactly what it is to be a Mississippi State Bulldog fan. It is not always pretty, but when it goes well, boy, does it feel good. Mississippi State gets the win over the Auburn Tigers in Starkville tonight, 91-85. Josh Hubbard, 1 point away from tying the all-time Mississippi State basketball scoring record held by Bailey Howell with 47 points. Josh Hubbard, 15 of 27 from the field, 6 of 9 from three-point range. Absolutely nuts. 6 of 9 free throws, I'm sorry. Broke the record in the first half for three-pointers made in an entire game and broke that by halftime. 35 points by halftime. Just absolute monster of a performance from the legendary, absolutely legendary Josh Hubbard. I mean, what do you say at this point? What do you say at this point? He is absolutely legendary. It looked very shaky in the second half. He went 10 of 16 from three, by the way. Just a monster performance all around. That's going to be close to player of the week for him. Mississippi State with an 18-point second half lead. What does it mean to be a Bulldog? We are used to heartbreak. And boy, we thought we were fixing to have it. We blow an 18-point lead in the second half to Auburn. What hurts more? You blow the lead to Auburn, and Keyshawn Murphy, who transferred to Auburn from Mississippi State in the offseason. The last thing you needed to happen was Keyshawn Murphy have a big game for the Tigers, and he didn't. 7 points held him in check, and Josh Hubbard just popped off. Absolutely went off. We blow the lead. The lead changes several times. But right there at the end, man, the Bulldogs, being Bulldogs, end up pulling out a 91-85 win over the Auburn Tigers to bring their season record to 13-13. I was afraid we were going to have to get on here and have a truth talk and have a little rant going, but thank God McGee, Epps, Hubbard, all three stepping up in crunch time at the end of that game to get it done and take home the W. One of the all-time greatest basketball games and performances in Mississippi State men's basketball history. That game will never be forgotten. Josh Hubbard just wrote his name in stone as a Mississippi State Bulldog legend. I cannot believe what I just witnessed. I cannot believe what we just saw from Josh Hubbard and Mississippi State basketball. Thank God they come back and get the win. Hell State. The Diamond Dogs pulled off a win 13-7 over the Troy Trojans on Tuesday night. We talked last week about Troy being a very good midweek opponent. Last year spent a lot of time on the edge of the top 25, snuck into it a few times. Really interested to see what Skylar Mead's team was going to do this year. And after kind of a slow start last weekend for the Trojans, Tuesday wasn't much better. The Bulldog offense woke up like we talked about that they needed to, and they did it in a big way. Um, at the end of the first inning, it was 4-0. By the end of the second inning, Mississippi State had jumped out to a 7-0 lead, which is exactly what you want to do as an offense facing a pesky midweek opponent like Troy can be, and that we've seen in the past. Troy beat Mississippi State last year. So Mississippi State's offense had a great night, actually scored in all but 3 innings on the night. Player of the game for me, easily, no question, Ace Reese. Monster game from Ace Reese. 5 for 5, 3 runs scored, 3 RBIs, and a 2-run home run in the second inning that went off the batter's eye. Just an absolute missile of a home run by Ace Reese there. Vitas Valenkis got his Bulldog career started in a big way as well, going 3 for 3, scoring 2 runs and 4 RBIs on the night for him. Sean James catching for the Bulldogs on Tuesday had a big night himself with a 2-run home run, his first collegiate home run in the 5th inning. So not only did Mississippi State's offense wake up like they needed to, they did it against what's considered one of Troy's best pitchers, Blake Dean. He only went 1.1 innings, 7 hits, 6 earned runs, and 2 strikeouts. The Bulldog offense had him pegged from the first pitch of the game. Really impressive stuff from the plate for the Bulldogs. On the mound, it looked even better. Duke Stone getting the start for Mississippi State. 4 innings, 1 hit, 1 earned run, and 6 Ks on the mound for him. William Kirk following him up with just 2 innings pitched, but he actually got the win. Chris Billingsley, after a rough appearance over the weekend versus Hofstra, he had some walk the bases loaded, got hit around a little bit, looked sharp at times, but just could not keep it together. Had another rough outing on Tuesday night. 2 hits, 1 earned run, 1 walk. He didn't finish the inning that he came in to pitch. So Chris Billingsley is going to have to figure it out. He is too talented to keep going out and getting run out from walks and lack of control. That just cannot happen when you have the talent level that he does. So Brian O'Connor's going to have to dig deep in his bag of being a pitching coach from way back when and get Chris Billingsley right and get him right quick. It's hard to write a player off this early, but he's going to have to figure it out very fast here. And he's running out of time if he wants to stay in the rotation of relief pitchers moving forward. The most exciting thing that I think Mississippi State fans saw was on the mound Tuesday night with the debut of the talented true freshman, Jack Bauer, of course, number 24, just like the TV show. And boy, did he live up to it. True freshman, left-handed pitcher, can touch 103 miles an hour. Still don't know how he got to campus, but I'm very thankful that he did. 1 inning pitched, 2 earned runs, 3 walks, and 3 Ks for the freshman. He started off the outing with a 99-mile-per-hour fastball that almost took a player's head off. And then he came right back and snapped an absolutely disgusting slider wrapped around the back knee of the batter there. When you are throwing 99 and 100, and then you can break off a slider that is 87, 88, 10, 11 mile per hour change there with the movement that it had, you have no chance as a batter. And that's exactly what Jack Bauer displayed on his outing on Tuesday night. The second inning he came back, we weren't sure if he would come back for another inning after the great appearance he had. But in the second inning, he lost a little bit of control, maybe some freshman jitters. Um, had a hard time finding the strike zone and ultimately had to leave the game. Too many walks there in that second inning. But that was Tuesday. Mississippi State gets the big win again, 13-7 over Troy. Moving into Wednesday, today as we're recording actually, Mississippi State played Alcorn State. And I want to address something really quick. The other night on our episode where I previewed the week, I said that Alcorn State is an abysmal baseball program. And I want everyone to know that I meant every single word of what I said about Alcorn State. They have won 30 games over the past 6 years, 5 or 6 years. 6 games. 30 games. Last year went 6 games. The year before, you're talking about records 2-38, 3-45. Just absolutely atrocious. And it wasn't always like that. The SWAC used to be a competitive conference. Jackson State, Grambling, Southern U, when Carrick Jackson was the coach there. The SWAC had some really, really talented baseball teams just in the last 10 years or so. So for Alcorn to be that far behind when the other teams have been semi-successful, there's really no excuse for it. And Wednesday was big for me because people wanted to see, okay, what do they do after I might have given them a little motivation? Well, they followed that up by losing 19-0 in 7 innings to Mississippi State. They had 1 hit, and their starting pitcher was throwing 58 miles an hour in Division I baseball. What else is there to say? You can't be mad when you speak facts. And I speak facts on this show. 13 hits to 1, 9-0 by the end of the second inning. Big day at the plate for Drew Wires, going 4 for 4 with 4 runs and 1 RBI. Blake Beavis, big game, 2 for 3, 3 runs, 6 RBIs. Had a 3-run home run in the first inning to get things going for us there. For Alcorn State, Caden Wade on the mound, 1 inning pitched, 3 hits, 4 earned runs, 2 walks. Throwing beach balls, batting practice right over the plate. I understand it's Alcorn State versus Mississippi State, but you're talking about Jackson State came in and has nearly beaten Mississippi State several times. Grambling, Southern, they have all played Mississippi State extremely competitive over the years. And again, for there to just be that big of a gap between those teams and Alcorn in the same conference, something's got to give, and it needs to get better, and it needs to get better fast. The Alcorn State fans deserve better because of the history of athletic prowess that has walked that campus. I would love to see them get better, but it needs to happen fast. For Mississippi State on the mound, this was a bullpen game, very clearly a bullpen game. Tyler Pitzer got his Bulldog career started. 2 innings pitched, 1 hit, 3 Ks. Again, not going to stretch out any pitchers tonight. Most of them only pitched 1 inning. Maddox Miller followed him up with 1 inning, 3 Ks, and actually got the win. Really good performance from Maddox Miller. Parker Rhodes, 1 inning, 2 Ks. Jackson Logan, 3 Ks. Dane Burns, 1 K. And Tanner Bellevue, 2 Ks. So bullpen game, everybody really looked good. Really enjoyed watching that tonight. Again, 19-0. Again, the offense did what you expect the offense to do, and the number 4 team in the country did exactly what you expect the number 4 team in the country to do against a team like Alcorn State. So really good there for the baseball team Tuesday and Wednesday, getting done with the midweek and moving into the weekend where they will face the Delaware Blue Hens. Don't know much about Delaware till I did some research. One thing that surprised me, I did not know Delaware was in Conference USA, first of all. So they're in the conference with Louisiana Tech and others. Um, to start the year so far, they have lost 2 games to Elon last weekend. Um, and they lost 3 games to Elon and they beat LaSalle on Tuesday night, 6-4. Um, looking into Delaware as a team statistically, they're only hitting 200 as a team. That's tough. Opponents are hitting 263. So again, Mississippi State's offense is going to have to be ready to go. And I would like to see them jump on Delaware early and get the offense rolling fast. Another stat that jumped out for me, Delaware as a team is only 1 for 2 on stolen bases. Opponents against Delaware are 6 for 6 on the season. So I would expect the Bulldogs to be moving on the bases as we get these games going this weekend. Um, Pitching, I thought I knew what Delaware would do, based on what they did last weekend against Elon. Jackson Holcher started the game on Friday with Elias Conway coming in. They both pitched on Tuesday in a midweek game. So I don't know what Delaware does. The rotation has not been announced yet, but Jackson Holcher, one of their main pitchers, junior right-handed pitcher, came from William and Mary College. Last year at William and Mary, he broke the record for innings pitched in a season. So you can tell they will use him quite a bit. Conway, junior left-handed pitcher, 20 innings pitched in 2024, more 35 innings pitched in 2025. So he's getting more and more usage for the Blue Hens there. Second game, Dylan Bryan, a junior lefty, got the start on the mound. He went 20 innings in 2025. And Doug Morose, a graduate pitcher, a big guy, 6'5", 230, had 13 innings pitched in 2025. So they always kind of pair the same two together with the starter, the best I can tell looking back at their past games. Um, the person that started the game against LaSalle was Andrew Callaway, another junior left-handed pitcher. They love their left-handed pitchers up and down the roster. 29 innings pitched in 2025. So, again, another guy that's going to get a lot of usage for the Blue Hens. I would expect to see just about all of these at some point this weekend. Holcher and Conway may end up being the Sunday pitchers for them. Can't say exactly when, but again, I would expect to see all of these guys this weekend. At the plate for the Blue Hens, looking at who we need to focus on, okay? Evan Bolden, number 7. He is currently hitting .462 on the season for Delaware. He is 6 hits, 2 doubles, 1 home run, and 4 RBIs. He is a senior, okay? The big story surrounding Evan Bolden is he is kind of that guy for the Blue Hens, that legacy player. He is the Delaware Blue Hens. Tuesday night versus LaSalle, he hit a home run, and that home run was actually his 200th career hit for Delaware. Next guy besides him is going to be number 16, Vincent Davis. 385 batting average. He's got 5 hits, 1 home run, 3 RBIs. He's a junior. Those 2 guys in that lineup are who we are going to have to focus on when we are scouting going into these games this weekend. Those 2 guys are the ones that can perform and get the runs on the board for Delaware. So I hope the Bulldog pitching staff is ready. Speaking of the Bulldog pitching staff, we don't know who the rotation is yet. But going off of last week, we actually had Ryan McPherson, Charlie Foster, and then Tomas Valinkas. A lot of talk about Valinkas. He had a great start on Sunday. Ryan McPherson pitched great on Friday. Charlie Foster did not do so well. He needs to get it back together. I would expect to see him starting. I would expect the same rotation, maybe just in a different order. You may start to see Valinkas move to that Saturday role. It'll be interesting to see what Brian O'Connor decides to do with the pitching rotation there. Um, After the game tonight, Brian O'Connor actually gave some injury updates. Reed Stallman, he had pulled him from the game the other day, just thought he didn't look right. It was a little weird. He was playing well, and he just said he tweaked something, but he said he will be back this weekend. That is going to be huge for our lineup. Noah Sullivan apparently tweaked his back in practice on Monday, and so he is actually day to day. Brian O'Connor said he was swinging at some today, looked okay, but still not going to take any chances there, bringing him back too early on that. So I don't know if State's ever played Delaware, um, but to be completely honest with you, this should be a sweep. Okay. The Bulldogs should not be losing a game to Delaware. Now, that's no disrespect to Delaware. They're Delaware, we're Mississippi State. It is what it is. We're the number 4 team in the country. We need to act like it. And I'm not going to apologize for acting like it. I mean, we're in the SEC, they're in Conference USA. They play up north, we play down south. I mean, there's a lot of differences there that say Mississippi State should win every time we play them. If they do end up pulling off a win, that will be severely impressive, because I don't think Delaware is that good of a hitting team. You're batting 200 as a team, and you're 4 or 5 games into the season. I don't like that. I don't think that's very good. So we will see what happens with the Diamond Dogs this weekend. I cannot wait, once again, having a 3-game set to see Brian O'Connor's Diamond Dogs. I cannot speak enough about how excited I am to have Brian O'Connor be the Mississippi State head baseball coach. I used to work for Mississippi State running TrackMan Radar under John Cohen, Butch Thompson, Nick Mingione. I loved every one of those guys. You talk about an intensity that just oozes into every aspect of the program, the campus, the athletic department as a whole. Everybody knows John Cohen's nickname as being intense, and I can tell you he absolutely was. It's really cool to see those guys moving on. You know, Butch Thompson, head coach at Auburn, Mingione, head coach at Kentucky. Um, there's a lot of Mississippi State guys all throughout the SEC coaching college baseball. And we may even see some with some head jobs soon that were players for Mississippi State back in the day. So, really excited about that. Brian O'Connor kind of brings it back to that intensity level that John Cohen had here. And I really think he's going to get us consistently where we want to be as a program. Now, is that winning national titles every season? No, probably not. That's really hard to do. However, do I think Brian O'Connor wins a national title as the Mississippi State head coach? 100%. I absolutely do. Will it be this year? I have no idea. But I would expect to be competing for Omaha, competing for the national championship year in and year out under Brian O'Connor as the head coach. That is why you hired him. That is why you pay him almost what $2-3 million a year to be the baseball coach. You don't see that level of salary for baseball coaches unless you are absolutely elite. I think the only coach that was making more than Brian O'Connor at the time that he got hired was Tony Vitello at Tennessee. Now that he left and went to the San Francisco Giants, Brian O'Connor may be the top paid coach in college baseball, certainly in the SEC at this point. So, really excited for Brian O'Connor and to just continue moving forward in this era here. Looking around at the rest of the athletic department for Mississippi State, softball had a big win Tuesday night versus Southern Miss in Starkville. Always good to beat the other Mississippi teams, no matter what sport it is. And women's basketball, Sam Purcell and the ladies, we talked about their season is winding down. It is very important that they get the wins when they have the opportunity. We talked about hopefully they can go at least 2-1 this week. They started that off great on Monday night with a win over Arkansas, 75-66. Moving into the rest of the week, they will face Florida. And then I believe it's next Sunday, they're going to face Vic Schaefer and Texas. So hopefully you beat Arkansas. I would expect to beat Florida and honestly probably lose to Texas at this point. But if we could somehow go 3-0 in that stretch this week, you're maybe 2 more games left before you get into the SEC tournament. And then once the SEC tournament starts, everybody knows that anything can happen. So I like where Sam Purcell has the ladies in terms of a tournament bid. I think he's doing great, and I think they will have a good shot to continue their season and extend it on. Um, Again, shout out to Coach Ricketts, 11-0 on the season. You can't win them all if you don't win the first 11. And Brian O'Connor, you can't win them all if you don't win the first 4 or 5, whichever it is at this point. I think 5-0. Let's keep that going against Delaware with a 3-game sweep this weekend. And boy, does it get tough next week. I'll be back with you after the weekend to recap our 3-game set versus the Delaware Blue Hens. Thank you for hanging out with us tonight, and Hail State.